Hey everyone, welcome back to one of America's messiest home kitchens. This is Pat Matthews DeRobertis, and I am so happy to see you today. Thank you for joining me. So today we're going to talk about some party essentials. I like parties, but I really love hosting parties. I love having people here, doing all the fussing and, maybe not as much fussing. Some things you do a little more complicated, but it's just nice to have everyone around, right? And hang out and be casual in your own home, and it just feels good. Now, 'tis the season for parties. We all know we have all the different holidays and holy days, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, which is a holy day all in itself, and recovery. So you want to be prepared, right? To have people over. But you have people over all year round, right? Or at least I hope so. I love having people around and having little parties, big parties. So what I'm going to show you is not just seasonal, but it's for all year. It's not for this party, maybe the next party. And you say to yourself, do I want to invest that? Yes, you do. Because these things will last you through every party for the rest of your life. When your kids have parties, they can use this stuff. So I'm going to show you what you need for your party. Okay, so what we're going to start with, it's called our chip and dip set. Right, that's a pretty basic name. Sometimes things have these very fancy marketing recommended titles. And sometimes they just get right to the point. So we're going to start with the chip and dip set. Someone recently referred to this as a party in a bowl. A party in a bucket, rather. And it is. Okay, and it pretty looks like a little flower, right? Pretty color, nice and bright, nice and vibrant, right? Because we're having a party. We have our cover, which as you saw, sits on there nice and tight, right? Keep things fresh. Our cover is also a divided serving dish. So, you can have in here, you could put cheese and pepperoni, maybe some nuts, pickles, some bread, sliced nice and thin, crackers, or you can fill it all with the same thing, You can put popcorn and pretzels, whatever it is that you think your guests would like. And what you like too, because you're part of the party. This bowl, I'll move these guys out of the way for a minute. Look at how nice and deep this is. So usually the thing you're using the most is some kind of a chip, right? Potato chips, tortilla chips. And that's what you want, a nice deep bowl that you can fill up so that you don't have to keep getting up and down and refilling it. Especially if you're watching a game, right? Be it the football game, the basketball game, hockey game. Everything's going so fast. You don't want to have to get up and miss the play, right? Because sometimes there are those games that are like, even if your team is winning, it's like, okay. And then there's that one play that everyone is going to talk about for weeks. You don't have to be getting up and getting chips or something and then miss it while everybody's in there saying, oh man, you should have seen this play. So if I'd have filled up the bowl, a nice big bowl, I would have seen it. And then we have, that goes with this, our two little cups. You put your dip in here, put guacamole in here, olives, pickles, whatever it is that you decide that you want to be serving with your popcorn and pretzels and everything else that's going on. Now you're running out of room though on the table. But you want to have this stuff, right? I mean, you made it. You made this nice onion dip. Maybe you made a nice little crab dip. You want to serve it. They want to eat it. And if your guests are like mine, there are certain things they expect to have when they come to your house. Even if it doesn't make any sense with the occasion or whatever, it's like, oh, did you make the chili dip? Oh, did you make some crab dip? Oh. So you have to put it out, but you run out of room on the table. Look at this. Look at these cool little hooks. And so they fit. Look at that. See? I wanted to show you it doesn't fall, so I can't hold it. There. And they both have the hooks. So here you are. You saved more space on the table. So you can put other stuff on the table, right? Because we're not limited in what we're putting out. We've got a whole smorgasbord going out there. The other cool thing about these little cups, yeah, little cup, they snap on really snug, which is cool. They all come with a seal. So you can make your dips ahead of time, cover them up, put them in the fridge. Seals tight, it's airproof, leak-proof, and it's all set for when you're ready. So at least it's one thing that you can do ahead of time and not have to worry about, as you're scrambling about trying to get everything out. Because, let's face it, no matter how organized you might be for your parties, I'm like meds organized. Like I usually know what I'm doing. It's a matter of getting it ready on time. Because you have to time certain things, so that it all comes together as it should. Well, this is something you could do ahead of time. And they're small, so they're not going to take up a lot of room in your fridge either. And depending on the height of your refrigerator, they can just sit on top of each other, right? Because they both have a lid. If they get knocked over, you're not wasting time cleaning it up because you have a lid that is so tight, it's spill-proof, leak-proof, the whole thing. And when you're done, you just take everybody, thank you, little cup, and you put them inside your bowl again. So it doesn't need a ton of space for when you put it away. Easy peasy. And yes, you can put it in the dishwasher. That's always a big help. Alrighty. So the next thing we're going to use to serve our guests, because we have a party going on. People have to eat. Is our serving center. Yes, that's another nice simple name, right? Now, I've spoken to you guys about the serving center before. And I did tell you the reason I first bought mine was to make tacos. So I have a million things all over the place, a lot of little bowls, everything is all together. See, it's all divided up. Put in there whatever you want. I told you, I've even used these to do a Sunday party. So you can put all the toppings in there. M&Ms and nuts and cherries and the candy bars you break up, crush up some Oreos. Everybody's in here. In here, you can put some Cool Whip. Or you could put the syrup in there. But usually you have a whole assortment of syrup, so maybe that's not what you want to do in here. Okay? In here, in your cover, you could put the ice cream in here, especially if you're using the pints, right? Just set it all up in here so it's not sweating on the table and making little puddles. Put the cones in here. If you're going to have things to make ice cream sandwiches, big cookies, you can put them in there, right? Because the sprinkles and all the other toppings are in. Oops. are in this piece. And if you want to make sure that things don't get warm too fast, fill it with ice. Sit it on top of here, and it'll keep it chilled. This is also great if you're going to be serving drinks and you don't have a regular bar, or you might just have a little bar cart, but whatever, or you're just going to, in some part of your kitchen or your parlor or your dining room, set up a little bar area. You put some snacks in here, right? Little hors d'oeuvres in here. There's some crackers, and maybe roll up some prosciutto and mozzarella, prosciutto and provolone in here, or some pepperoni, or whatever it is you like to eat when you're having a drink. And then use this for your bar supplies, right? We'll put toothpicks in here, and we have cherries and lemons and orange zest and olives and toothpicks. If you fancy, you get the little umbrellas, right? Put in your drinks, and you're good. The stirrers, and And if you need a little extra, in here you can actually put a corkscrew and the church key, your bottle opener, or put the corks in there as you undo the wine. This way they're not all over the place. And you can get rid of everything together at the end of the night. So this is perfect for any party. Adult parties, kids parties, have a party. Like I said, I bought mine for tacos. So it's great just even for dinner, during the week. Because you want pieces, Tupperware is not at the cheap spot on the list. Tupperware, though, is worth $1 for value. That's what you get. So you could go with a less expensive product, but it won't be a product that'll last you forever. Tupperware has a lifetime guarantee on its, with normal wear. I mean, if you stick it in the oven for some reason, like you're not thinking, we won't cover it for that. But if it chips, if it breaks, under normal use, you can get your replacement free. The other good thing is, like our party in a bowl over there, and this, they're plastic. So especially if there's kids running around, or people talking, you're not thinking, you move your hands, especially if you talk like I do, right? You move your hands, things go flying. It's plastic. So you're not worried that, God forbid, one of your guests is going to get cut, somebody's kid is going to get a slice on their finger. Yeah, we don't need that to be happening. We're here to have a party. And there ain't no party going on in the emergency room. That's for sure. So, that is our serving center. Like I said, this is an incredible piece. I've used it for a million things. All right, next, we have over here, that's a mega bowl. And you could see it next to my face that really is, that's a mega bowl. This bowl is 42 cups. You're having dinner for a lot of people. You're having a Super Bowl party, a lot of people. Think of the amount of chili that it fit in here, right? Because everybody's freaking hungry. They've been eating on snacks, but they've been drinking. They're hungry. And Super Bowl comes on late. It's not on in the middle of the afternoon like, most of your regular season games. Put in here a bowl of soup. Or just like we were talking about earlier, load it up with the chips. Because especially something like Super Bowl, right? You don't want to miss the game. Even more important, you don't want to miss the commercials, right? People come and watch the Super Bowl. They care less about the game, a lot of people. I don't know why I don't relate to that. But we all love the commercials, right? The best commercials of the year. Even surpassing the ones that they make at Christmas time, which I also love to pieces. Best commercials are during the Super Bowl. So you don't want to miss anything. Load her up. You know what else this is great for? Ooh, excuse me. Punch. That's right. Yes, people still make punch. I love making punch. I love drinking punch. And everybody that comes loves to drink punch, right? Vodka, gin, whatever. Rum, great rum punch. In here. You can make a nice big batch. Have it all set. And you can make it ahead of time. In fact, if you're going to someone's house and you want to bring the punch, it comes with a great tougher seal, right? And you close it all around. Boom. We're going to give it a little burp. I don't know if you heard it. Now it's more like a swish instead of a burp. It's become much more polite over the years. It'll be drip proof. You could shake it up when you get there, or even before you put it out in your own house, to remix those ingredients so it's all blended together. Again, should it accidentally fall, no one is going to get cut. You don't have to worry about that. And it even has these great handles, right? So that you're not trying to carry this big bowl like this. If you get bumped, if it slips, things happen. As handles. How great is that? Punch bowl, ice bowl, right? You fill it with ice. You can fill it with ice and put the beer and the wine coolers in there. Right? If you don't have a regular cooler, or you just don't want to bring a cooler in your house because after the summer it's a little shangad, you know, you can't quite get all the mud off the wheels, or you take it to the beach and there's still sand never comes off of everything completely. We know that. Use this for your ice bowl. Use this for your cooler. Like I said, put beer in there, wine coolers in there, the bottle of wine in there, and you're good to go. And that's in there with you too. So this way you're sitting and you're talking to your guests. I mean, at some point you do have to get up to serve them. Or maybe not, you know, depending who your guests are. You can say, you know where it is in the fridge. Go help yourself. But you might have to, you know, to go. But if you're just sitting there hanging out and you want to be up and down 100 times, put the beverage in there. Or, like I said, use it as a punch bowl. I used to have a really pretty glass punch bowl, kind of like left with the flood. I'm like, okay, time to look for another one. And then I looked at this bowl and I said, what is wrong with you? Especially with the kids around. They bump it, they do whatever. And that's another thing. As we're chatting over here, you don't have to make an alcoholic punch. I mean, I always make an alcoholic punch because the adults are all drinking it. But you can make one for the kids. Right? Just leave the alcohol out. And again, if it gets bumped and bruised and whatever, it's fine. It's plastic. And should they manage to chip it or break it somehow, because children are very good that way. You know, I always say mine could be used for test dummies because, man, they could destroy just about everything. You let me know and we'll replace the part. Like I said, it's guaranteed. Okay. So now we've talked about making punch and where to serve our alcohol. Not everybody drinks. For whatever reason. Maybe they're the designated driver for that particular night. So we want to give them something too, right? Here we go. This one is I always call it the cafe, but it's the carafe. The cold brew carafe. It's a beautiful piece. If you didn't know better, you would think it was glass. In fact, somebody came in, they would say, what a beautiful carafe on your table. It's a lovely piece of glass. So simple, so clear, so classic. Where'd you get it? And you would say, oh, darling, that's from Tupperware. And guess what? It's not glass. This also goes well if you set the table with our clearly elegant set. Matches it. Oh my God, it's incredible. When the light bounces off of that, no one would know the difference. Until, of course, something gets bumped. Which is another thing, right? You have this beautiful carafe sitting on your table. If you have water in it. Or your cold brew coffee or some iced tea. And someone, like I said, they've just admired it. What a beautiful carafe. And here comes their kid, so excited. They want to drink something. Bang. And now their heart is up in here because they're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to now replace that beautiful carafe. I'm going to kill that kid when I get home. And you get to say, oh no, don't be silly. Look, it's fine. It's plastic. It's Tupperware. You got to have one. Now, I don't use mine for coffee because I know this is, nobody ever believes this, but I don't drink coffee. Yes, it's true. I do not. I'm a tea drinker. So I can tell you, when you make tea with this, 6 to 7 tea bags, tie the strings together so it's easier to take them out, fill with water, pop it in, put the cover on, and sit it in the fridge. Voila! Nice tea. Nice and simple. Do it at night and it's ready for the morning. Do it in the morning before you go to work and it's ready for when you have dinner at night, when you get home. It's that simple. Now, you have company coming and you might need a little more than that. I got you covered. This is our slimline pitcher. Nice little pour nozzle there. Not too big, so it doesn't go all over the place, and not too small either, so you're waiting all day for a drizzle to come out. If if you don't finish all of your tea or your coffee, transfer it to here. This fits right on the door, the fridge door. Also, when your kids go in, fling open the door, bang against something else, it's safe. You don't have to worry about it tripping. Now you're having people come over, right? And we said, not everybody drinks for whatever the reason is. Make one of these, fill it in here, pour it right in there, right? This is in the fridge. And have another one ready so that this one is brewing while this one is ready to serve. You know what else this is good for? Leftover punch. Listen, you have a good punch and if for some reason it doesn't all go, there is no sense of throwing away a good punch and good alcohol. That's just silly. So if you put it in this, but what if you want to use it for this? I've got you covered again. Our slimline pitcher comes as a set of 2. So you're set, right? One for your punch, one for your coffee or tea. Or you can have one for coffee and for tea. You're covered all around. Now, talking about having leftover coffee, leftover tea, and you don't want to get rid of it. Maybe you're not going to be there to finish it up. You don't want to take it with you, even though we have Tupperfabulous Eco to-go cups. But for whatever reason, you don't want to bring with you. Let me introduce you to our ice cube trays, which also have a lovely name. Hold on. If you can never find something in the catalog when you're online, either DM me or in the search, just put ice and it'll find it. Okay, so they are actually called Fresh and Pure ice trays. Like I said, if you don't remember that name, ice, and I'll find you. So, I know when I talk about ice cube trays, a lot of people, yeah, you know who I mean, you get that look like, oh, I don't need them anymore because I have an ice maker in my fridge. Oh yeah. Does your ice maker make juice ice cubes? Does your ice maker save bouillon? Does your ice maker save coffee or tea? No. So besides making ice in the ice cube trays, you have leftover cold brew coffee or tea, put it in here. Then you can always have it later on. Or if you want it colder than it was in here, rather than dilute your iced tea or your coffee, take one of your ice cubes and put that in your glass, right? So just more coffee and more tea instead of just more water. I mean, you like it at the strength you like it because that's why you made it that way. Also, for our ice cube trays, for your punch, right? So it'll start out cold because all the ingredients you're putting into it are cold. And if you add sherbet to it as well, which is frozen, that's in there cold. But if it's sitting there a while, it could start to get a little warm. If you freeze the juice, the same type of juice that you use to make the punch, take the ice cubes and put them in there. Again, you're not diluting anything, right? It's all the same ingredients that were there. And if you feel now you have a little juice, too much juice in there, you know, you can always just open another bottle of rum or gin or vodka, whatever it is they have to put in your punch, and give it a little pour. But it's not tasting watered down. These are great if you make pesto, right? You fill up the little trays, and I'll show you the bottom. Look at this. It's like a poppet. But they're not as noisy as the ones that the kids are running around with. Push it in. Out comes your cube. No muss, no fuss. So after you've frozen all your pesto in here, right? You've made your little pesto cubes. Pop them all out. Put them in a baggie. Or in one of our freezer-safe containers. Put them on the side. Now you're ready to fill it up again with more pesto, with more tea, whatever you need to put in there. The other thing is bouillon, right? You buy a container of bouillon, maybe, I guess you buy by the quart, however you get it, and you need half a cup. You paid for this bouillon. They're not charging you for only the part that you used. You're paying for the whole container or can or whatever receptacle you've bought it in. Freeze it. That's right. Same premise as you use with the pesto sauce. Freeze your bouillon, even if you buy it ahead of time, because you see it, it's on sale. You don't need it today, but you know when you use it, you're only going to need maybe a quarter of a cup. You know, you don't always need the whole container. But there it is on sale, looking at you. Buy it. Freeze it. Pop out the cubes, put them in a baggie, or one of Tupperware's absolutely Tupperfabulous freezer containers, and you have it for when you need it. This way you can just take it out of the freezer, how many cubes that you need, and put the rest back. Now you're not running out at the last minute to get it because you saw this great recipe, but it needs bouillon that you don't have or stock that you don't have. Because remember that too, when you make your own stock, do the same thing. So you don't have to run out at the last minute. And now you're running out to get it, and you have to hope they have the brand that you want. Hope that's not ridiculously priced. And you've now had to waste the gas also to go back and forth maybe to get this one thing. Although I don't know anybody who ever just runs out with one thing. But, so now it's cost you more money that way too because you went in the store and bought a lot of other stuff you didn't plan on buying. You're prepared. And especially with winter coming, you know, nobody wants to run out in the cold. Well, there are one or two of you. But most of us don't want to run out in the cold. Take advantage of the sale. Freeze your cubes. Have them ready for when you're going to make dinner. Okay, so now everybody's had something to drink. Everybody's had an appetizer. They've been doing some snacking. You've had dinner. Or maybe it's not a dinner party. You know, maybe it's just like, it's just been snacks and noshing, whatever. For me, it doesn't matter. There's always got to be dessert. You got to have dessert. So, this is our round cake taker. Locks on the side. Of course, when you don't have to be doing it in front of a camera, you can do it the nice way and just lift it up. This is our round one. Round cake, Bund cake. You remember the movie. Cupcakes can go on here. Pie fits on here perfectly. Or guess what? Ta-da! That's right, the bottom is divided on the other side. So if you want to make a snack tray here, candies, right? Love candies. M&M's now make 63 different kinds of M&M's. Remember when we were kids? There was just plain M&M's. And for a while, or plain or with almonds. And you couldn't get red ones either because it was red dye number 227. I don't remember the exact number. But we couldn't eat the red ones, and they stopped making them because they were going to kill us. Chocolate killing us. Imagine M&M's. Well, now they make 1,000,001 kinds. Besides the plain and peanut and almond, and we have mint ones and mocha ones, and I forget how many. Like, I was amazed when I was in CVS about a week ago. But Kisses, they come in 1,000,000 different kinds too, right? There's the ones that taste like hot cocoa, and the dark chocolate ones, and the regular ones, and the peppermint ones. You really go to town. I'm just going to try a couple, see which ones I like. You have a little feast, a little M&M and Kisses feast. But however you want to set this up, right? You can use the other side as well. Then you have you covered. And this keeps everything airtight as well. So you don't have to worry about traveling with it. Has a great handle. I don't know if they've started doing it again yet, but remember, be able to take things to school, right? For somebody's birthday. I know because of the whole COVID thing, a lot of times you still can't. But you go to a friend's house, right? You want to bring something. You don't want to go to a bakery. You really want to do something for them. And you have a great apple pie recipe or coffee cake recipe that they love. Surprise them. And you know what? For the holidays, give them 2 surprises. bake their favorite dessert, put it in the cake taker, put a bow on it, and make the whole operation theirs. You know, that's a great gift. It's from the heart. It's something they will have for the rest of their life. So every time they use it, they bring it somewhere or use it at their home, there you are with them, right? So we'll put this one on the side. Because we also have a rectangular one. That's right. Now, the thing I'm going to say is, with Tupperware, everything has a name, right? Everything has a label because, well, you have to order it. You can't say, gee, I'm just going to get that rectangular thing, because we sell a lot of rectangular things. So this is our rectangular cake taker, the same way the other is the round cake taker. You know, you don't have to just put cake on it, right? So again, this holds 9 by 13 cake, excuse me. And it holds all these cupcakes, right? Because you carry cupcakes and they freaking slide and they move. And man, you did a nice job icing those cupcakes. Maybe put the little sprinkles on. Maybe you put little like rings or decorations on them. And now they want to move all over the place. Nay, nay. They all have their own little anchor. You put them in there. Cover it up, again, with the same safety handle. Close this airtight. And you're good to go. You know what else these are great for? This one and the round one. Make a cheese board. Make an appetizer board. That's right. Doesn't have to be fancy. And who can make one better than you? I know sometimes, you know, everybody makes it sound, oh, I went here, and this place does it like this, and this place does it like that. Do you know what's the most important thing about doing one of your boards? Everything has to be fresh. It doesn't matter how pretty it looks. If it's not fresh, if it doesn't taste good, you've wasted money. Nobody enjoys it. Who needs that? But if you're making it, you know it's fresh. You know where you're buying your stuff. You know what grade it is. You know exactly what brand it is. It's perfect. And again, set it up with cake or cheese or meats, whatever. Cover it. Put a bow on it. You're going to someone's home for the holidays. You want to bring them a gift. You don't know what to bring them. You've now brought something for the table for now, and you've brought something for their table for forever. And again, it's a gift that they will always have, reminding them of you. Now, one of the last pieces I'm going to show you is called, very simply, the round container. Yes, that's what it's called, a round container. And, like our others, it has an airtight seal. You make things ahead of time, right? You close them up, everything stays fresh. Nice and flat. You can put a pie on there, that'd fit. It'll hold a dozen muffins. You can use this part for chips and popcorn, pretzels, whatever you want to put in there. But again, Tupperware is one of the most versatile products you'll ever have. You know what this holds? 2 to 3 dozen Jell-O shots. Listen, you have your party, I have my party. As long as we're all partying, right? And this will be a nice tray to carry them in, right? You're passing them around. You decide, hey, it's time to do vodka shots. Put them in here. Right, so they're not sliding off a tray. They're not moving around. In here too, you put the wedges of the lemon, excuse me, and in a little dish in here. One of our little modular mates would hold it just nice even, or any one of our smaller containers. Put your vodka shots around, and again, it's nice and high, so They happen to slosh a little, right? They're not going anywhere. They're going right in here. And everybody, take a shot and pass it around. Or, you get that person that's like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. And so what do you say to them? Come on, I'll do one with you, right? Everybody grabs a shot. And the next person takes theirs. But now you have a couple more that need a little extra encouragement. So you do a shot with them. Next thing you know, maybe your hand isn't as steady. I mean, it happens. Because you know what, it's kind of heavy too with having all that alcohol in it. And it might slip. Or somebody turns around fast and it gets knocked over. Again, plastic. And yes, it's a shame, very, very sad thing to have wasted all that good alcohol. But nobody's going to get cut, right? Nice and easy. Mop it up. Take our tray, which is not broken. And hey, let's fill it up for another round. And you just pass it around. In the meantime, on here, right, we have cheese and crackers. We have maybe some lox and other crackers. And we can have on here, whatever else you want to put on here. But we're serving snacks because let me tell you, if they're doing shots, you want them to eat something. That's very important. And again, for the tray, you fix that ahead of time, right? Cover it, put it in the fridge. You can put things on top of it. It's nice and level. It's not when you have to cover things with cling wrap. So if you try to put something on it, if it's not laying right, boop, into it, into the bowl it goes. You're all set up. And like I said, all of this can be done ahead of time because once it's sealed with our covers, there's nothing getting in there that's going to cause it to start to turn. Or, sometimes cheese, if it's not wrapped right, gets a little hard around the edges. You don't need to, to have that done. This will help you prepare for every party. These are the things that you can do ahead of time. You're not running around at the last second while you're trying to get ready. You're trying to get the kids ready. You're trying to make sure the house doesn't get blown up before people come in. I mean, once people get here, everybody's going to relax and enjoy themselves, right? You don't care what gets messed up, what gets spilled. But you'd like the house to look nice when they first walk in the door. So instead of having to stress over all of that, that's done. Your food is already either completely done or partially done, so you're not doing everything at the last second. And you are going to throw the most Tupperfabulous party ever. They're going to be talking about your party until your next party. And they'll all be waiting for their invitations. So, this is Pat Matthews DeRobertis from one of America's messiest kitchens, which I hope soon will be getting messy because I'm going to be having a house full and gaggles of people coming and going and just hanging out and celebrating and, God, just enjoying each other. And so I hope the same happens in your house too. If you have any questions about any of these products or anything else that you see on my website, please DM me or, add something in the comments because I want you to have your best life ever, whether it's on your day-to-day, your work day, or just having a fun day. Okay? So everybody, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now.